Okay, let's see what we can make this piece of shit do. Haha, Konica Minolta. Konica. Fuck you, Konica. Bunch of assholes. Let's see what we can do with this asshole machine. So I just seem to be wanting to use the original size. So, because sometimes it doesn't detect properly when I'm making a mirror image, which is a real pain in the ass. I just don't feel like dealing with that for some reason. Now this silly user interface I just accidentally scrolled it. Not as severe as I normally do it sometimes. Now I'm thinking we're going to stay with red. So the industry is full of shit. It's all about the dirty dollar and how much you can get away with the dirty dollar. So we're just going to warm it up with the hue. I have no respect for this money-driven industry anymore. I no longer have any sense of belonging. Anyway, enough of that. I think we can just get this shit done. Now, 400%. So I wonder what we've got to present to this shitter. We have an empty chocolate box. And we're going to photocopy this lovely graphic. So I'm just trying to see how we can do that. So we're just coming around the side and I'm just trying to hide these areas that have the... whatever. I've got to move it across. So hopefully I've got it in a good position. I'm actually wondering if 400% is a bit extreme. So we're just going to go here, and I think the X might be a bit smaller. So we're going to make the X 390. And the Y is going to stay at 400. Okay, so I'm wondering if we're going to leave it like that. And we're just going to photocopy it. So hopefully it'll look really good. Even though this machine is basically made to make money instead of giving us the best features that we can have, well, we can still use it. It's called being resourceful. And that's what you have to learn in this day and age, is to think outside the box, to think in a resourceful fashion. So I'm wondering if we're going to make this a master copy. We're going to make that a master copy, so we're just going to keep these in play. So that looks really good. I think now we can consign that to the recycle pile. And we're going to photocopy this as our original. So we're going to set things up differently. So we're just going to basically go here, and we're going to make, I think we're going to make this 104 that way and 104 this way. But I like the colours in that. And when we make a photocopy of a photocopy, it's going to come up a treat. So we're just going to go to our copied paper. I'm really happy with the overall appearance so far. So I'm wondering if we're just going to remove that, and we don't need the background colour anymore. So we're just going to try and set things up. We're just going to maybe put these features to default. I think we've got hopefully the right settings. So I'm going to put that at the top, and we're going to just overlap it over the edge. So we're just going to overlap, and we're just going to cut off we don't want to show the borders. The borders look shit house. So now we're just going to hope that we've got it set up right for this job. Now my hand's shaking because I haven't shot
multiple demos for a long time. I've been using public machines, which means I don't do as many demos in a row, and I'm not exercising my wrist as much, so my videos are going to be a bit shaky to start with. Now I think we've made this, it's still too red, even though I've taken out the excess red. So I'm going to have to do some work on this. It looks too red, and it just doesn't look good. So now we've got to get this, and we're going to put that in the middle. We're working in positive mode, not negative, and maybe the hue could be pushed to the cold end of the spectrum. Maybe some of that red, we can remove some of it. And let's see how we go now. Yeah, I haven't used this machine for a while, so now it's stabilising image. That's typical Konica Minolta behaviour. Now it's saying originals left on glass. So let's see how we go. Okay, let's see how we go. Now that looks, in some ways it looks promising, but now that's become yuck. That looks yucky. That does not look like, we need more red. I think taking out the red in this case looks like I'm out of practice, and my camera hand is shaking like mad because I'm not used to holding this for so long. So now we're just going to return the red to the centre. Maybe we can darken it again just a little. So let's see how we go now with these setups. I'm going to try not to shake, but I can't help it. It's just my wrist isn't used to holding this large phone for a long time. So yeah, it still looks yuck. It still does not look as red as it should look. Those colours look quite nice, but it's too, the red looks wishy-washy. I'm actually thinking, maybe, this is really difficult, folks. I'm not normally finding this that hard. So I'm thinking maybe we're going back to the dark end of the spectrum. Maybe we're going to add back, we're going to leave the red. Maybe it's the hue that needs, no, I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Just wondering if we're going to add some more red. I think we need a bit more red for this to make it work. This is going to be some kind of prolongated demo, by the way we're going. So let's see if we've made this look good. So yeah, my wrist is has not been exercised. Now it still looks like a brownie coloured red. For some reason it's looking brownie coloured. It's not looking quite as, the first one, the red was brilliant, but this looks really red, like a brown. It looks more like a slightly brownie coloured red. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do to make this better. I'm trying to work out why it's looking that kind of colour. So we're just gonna up, maybe we're gonna up the red all the way once again. Seems to be the only thing we can do. Alright, let's see how we go now. Because I want the red to look red and to contrast nicely with the cool colours. So now we're just after 9 minutes and 30 seconds. So we're into this demo already. And actually that looks a lot better. It still doesn't look quite the red I was hoping, but it looks better. And I'm thinking, where's going to be the middle of this demo? We're not going to be perfect with it, but that looks a lot better. I think having that extra red has improved things. So now we're just going to punch off this. We're just after 10 minutes now. This is going to be a really long demo
folks. So if you're in it for the long haul, we're in it for the long haul. It still doesn't look the kind of red that I wished it would be. Maybe it's the hue. Maybe the hue should be a little bit warmer. But if you warm up the hue, you might take out some of the other lovely features of the image. So that's the thing. Often when you alter something else. It has an effect. You got to work out what you're worth, what you want to sacrifice, as well as what you want to emphasize. It's like a it's like medication. It's like the doctor will often tell you when you're taking a medication, you'll have a side effect. Well, sometimes you have side effects in creating images. So one thing that you do could have an undesired effect in another area. So it's like side effects when you go to the doctor. So yeah. So when your doctor talks about side effects, he'll talk about, typically about how. Actually, I'm thinking this will be the centre. He'll talk about how, or she will talk about how the medication will benefit you, and also they'll often talk about the side effects. So the same thing happens when in imaging, you get side effects with what you change, and it's like that. I don't know, I never thought about it quite like that before. It just came up in my head that that one thing you change has a benefit in one way, and the benefit always has a downside. And this happens a lot with working with photocopiers like I do. So it's like medicine. It's a bit like that. So you got to work out what you're willing to put up with if there are any side effects or any downsides. But anyway, I think I'm happy with that overall. I think it's worth the prolongation. I think now we can call this demo quits.